Hello students, I am Anup sir and today we will be starting with the topic functions. Now let us see first of all what is a function. Now remember last we have done relations. So actually function is a special case of a relation, and how it is considered to be a special case, that we will first define through the definition and then I will explain you with the help of an example. So let's see what's the definition for it. The definition of a function from A to B is a rule, or you can say is a relation or a correspondence which associates to each element of a unique element of set B. Remember, there will be two sets A and B. Then each element, just remember to this, each element of set A will be associated, right? Will be associated to unique element of set B. Keep these 2 points in mind. These are the very two important. These two words will define what is a function. Each element of set A should be associated to some unique element of set B. Remember this statement. Each element of set A should be associated to some unique element of set B. The unique element of set B to which an element of set A is associated is called the image of the element. That is known as the image. Okay, then the element Y is also known as the value of the function at X. Remember, if one of the element of A is associated with B, then the element to which it is associated, that element in B is known as the image, or it is also called value of the function at X, and it is represented by Fx. Now let us see what are the two conditions which I said here, each and a unique. Now what does each over here mean? All elements in A, that is each element in A, are associated to some elements in B. This is the meaning of this word. And then it's a unique. The association is unique. That means no element of A has more than one image. That means no element of A will be associated to more than one element in set B. Okay, now let me make it clear to you with the help of this example. Now let us consider set A. We consider a class. Now in class there are some boys and some girls. So here we have taken set A as the set of the boys in the class. Only boys, no girls. Whereas in set B, we have taken all the mothers of the children in a class. Remember, in set A, we are taking only the boys of the class, whereas in set B, we are taking all the mother of children in a class. That means set B is not having only the mother of the boys. Is it clear? Set B is the set of all mothers of the children in a class. Okay, now see, a teacher was asked, or a student was asked to write the relation between the boys and the mother present over there. So 4 boys were asked to write certain relation, and now let's see which of the relation is a proper relation representing the relation is son of. Okay, the first boy related like this: X is son of mother A. Okay, Y is son of mother B. Z is son of mother D. Now, do you find this relation to be correct? Yes, boy named X is the son of mother named as A. Boy named as Y is son of mother named B. Z is son of mother named D. This relation is proper. Okay. Now, can we define this relation to be a function? Because we know that function is a special case of a relation where two conditions must be satisfied. Now, let's see these two conditions. All elements in A are associated to some element in B. Now here all the elements of set A have been associated. The first condition has been filled. Each element of A is to be associated. Second condition, the association should be unique. No element of A has more than one image. Here see, this A, X is having only one image, Y is having only one image, Z is having only one image. So here the two conditions for the relation to be called a function has been satisfied. So we say that this relation is a function. Okay, so this will be a function. So this relation is a function. Now let us see, the other child has drawn the second relation. Now let us see, is the second relation a function? So let's see that these two conditions, are these two conditions satisfied? All elements in A are associated to some elements in B. So if you see over here, all the elements have been associated. So the first condition has been satisfied. The association is unique. Now what does this mean? No element of A has more than one image. Now see, if you see, X is having only one image, Y is having only one image, Z is also having only one image. So if you see, then these two conditions have been fulfilled over here. So again, this relation is a function. Now here remember, two elements can have the same image. It's not given anywhere that no two elements can have the same image. Only 2 points were given. Each element should be associated. So we can see each element has been associated. None of the element has been left out. And the image should be unique. Means one element should have only one image. Now if you see, Y and Z, they are the boys, and the relation saying both boys have the same mother. Yes, this relation is possible. Two boys have the same mother. This relation is possible. They are the brothers, so they have same mother. So this relation is also a function. These two. Okay, now coming to this one. The third boy made this relation. Now, is the third relation a function? We will say that the third relation is not a function, because if you see, then one of the element Y in set A has not been related to any element in set B. Whereas the definition says each element of set A should be related. There are the two words that I have marked, each and unique. Each element of set A should be related with an element of set B. So you see in the third relation, one of the element Y has not been related. So we will say that this relation is not a function. This is not a function. Not function. One of the elements, see, all elements in A are to be associated. One element has been left out. No, this relation is not a function. Now see the fourth one. First condition has been fulfilled. All elements in A are associated to some elements in B. all elements have been associated. If you leave out this one, all elements are associated. So first condition is fulfilled. But what about the second? The association is unique. That is, no element of A has more than one image. So here you can see Y is having two images, which is not possible. It is not a unique image. And if practically you think a boy named Y, can he have two mothers? Not possible. Y cannot be called son of two mothers. So, and the other way, you see the definition over here, association is unique. No element of A has more than one image. Here, first of all, first one is okay. Each element is associated. But the second is unique image. Y is not having a unique image. Y is having two images. So this relation is not a function. So remember, for a function, two conditions, that is each element, and the second condition, unique element. These are the two conditions which should be fulfilled, then only a relation is called a function. Let us take one more example. Now I think this will be clear to you. So let's take one more example. Now here, example was given to you in terms of mapping with the arrow diagram. Now I will give you an example which will be in terms of ordered pair. See here, I am writing few relations. First relation I am writing in terms of ordered pair. See here, first of all, A is having the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and B is having the elements A, B, C, D and E. Okay, here a relation is given from A to B, R1. R1 is given as 1, A, Okay, now let us see in this example, again 4 relations have been given to us from A to B. Now we have to find out which of these relation is a function. Now the first condition says that each element of set A. Now set A is having 4 elements, and you can see the 4 elements are associated. 1 is associated, 2, 3, 4. All the elements are associated. Second says that it should be a unique image. That means none of the elements should have 2 images. So you see, 1 is having only 1 image, 2 is having only 1, 3. See, so this relation is a function. If you draw the mapping diagram, you will find that all the elements will be associated and none of the element will be having 2 images. So this relation is a function. So this is a function A to B. Now if you see in this one, in this relation, set A is having 4 elements but only 3, 1, 2 and 3 are associated with the elements in set B. So one of the element, that is 4, is not associated. So we will say that one of the element 4 is not having an image. So that means this relation is not a function. See, the first condition is not being satisfied. All elements in A are to be associated. So see, A is having 4 elements and here you can see only 3 elements have been associated. Fourth element is not having an image. So this relation is not a function. Coming to the third one. In third one, all the elements in set A are associated and none of them is having 2 images. None of them is having 2 images. Now if you see over here, then 3 is having only 1 image, 4 is also having only 1 image. Remember, 2 elements can have the same image. 2 elements can have the same image. But 1 element cannot have 2 images. Is it clear? 2 or more than 2 can have 1 image, but 1 element cannot have more than 1 image. So here 2 elements are having the same image, which is possible. See here, every element is having the image and it's a unique image. So this relation is again a function. What about this one? All the elements are associated. 1 is associated, 2 is associated, 3 is associated, 4 is associated. Each element has been associated. But if we talk about the unique image, then you see this one. 3 is not having the unique image. 3 is getting 2 images. 3 is having the image C as well as 3 is having the image D. So one element having 2 images. So it's not a unique image. So that means this relation is not a function. I hope with these 2 examples it will be clear to you that what a function is and how do we find whether the given relation is a function or not. You have to just look for these 2 conditions. Each element and a unique image. All elements, each element means all elements in A are associated to some elements in B. And the association is unique, that is, no element of A has more than 1 image. So if you see in this one, first condition was not satisfied. All elements in A are associated. Element A was having set A was having 4 elements. 1 is associated, 2 is associated, 3, but 4 is not associated. So each element is not associated. That's why this relation is not a function. In this one, first condition was fulfilled. All the elements 1, 2, 3, 4, all the elements were associated. But the second condition was not fulfilled. And element 3 was not having a unique image. It was having 2 images. So this relation is not a function. So this is how we find whether the given relation is a function or not. So you can pause and note it down. Okay, now we have the real function, that is the real valued function. So for the real function, we means a function in which input, now input means value of x. We are substituting a real value of x in the function and we get output, means we get fx, that is the value of the function y, a real number. So in the function, if you input, that means you substitute value of x, a real number, and you get output, that is the value of y you get as a real number, then we say that the function is a real valued function. Now for example, let us consider a relation given to you. Now this is a relation given to you. as a set of ordered pair, and this is the relation between the elements of the ordered pair. And x and y both are here belonging to a real number. This R is for real number. This R is for relation and this R, bold R, is for real numbers. So here we have got a relation. Now, here in this relation, if you substitute any real value for x, you will get a real value for y, and that too a unique value you will get. What do we mean by the unique value? That means you are substituting one value of x, and y you are getting only one unique value. That means no one value of x gives two values of y. Suppose you are substituting 1 over here. So value for y will be a unique value, that will be 5. Now, can you think of any real number which you substitute over here and you get two images? So it's not possible here. So we can say that this relation is a function. See, there were the two words for the function, each element of x and the unique image. So each element of x belongs to real number, that means you substitute all the real numbers one by one, and for each real value of x you will get a unique value for y, and that too a real value. So both the conditions will be satisfied over here, so we can call this relation as a function. So we will write it like this: f is equal to set of ordered pairs, and this is the relation between the elements. So instead of our relation, now we are going to write it as a function. So we can say this ordered pair belongs to the function, and we know that y is written as fx, the image is always written as fx or the y. So here y will be replaced by fx. So fx is equal to 3x plus 2. So this will be the function. So this was not given to you a function, this was a relation given to you. But by the definition, we got that this relation is representing a function, because we can see in this relation, if you put all the real values for x, you will get real and unique value for y. Now let's see how to find the domain of a function. Now domain of a function means all those real values of x which when substituted in the function gives real value to fx. Okay, now let's see how we will find those values which will give us a defined value for fx. Now there are 2-3 points which we have to keep it in mind. The first point is that to get fx as a real value, the denominator of fx should never become 0. Because if the denominator of fx becomes 0, then you won't get a defined value for fx. So we have to keep this in mind, that there should be no value of x which makes the denominator 0. If there is any such value of x which can make the denominator of fx denominator as 0, so that the value of fx is undefined, so we have to take away that value of x. Second point, we have to keep it in mind that if the expression of fx is in square root, is with the square root, then if the expression, as you can see, is in the numerator place with the root sign, then that expression should be either equal to 0 or greater than 0. Then only you will get a real value for fx. And if the expression for fx contains square root sign in the denominator place, then the expression there should be greater than 0 so that we can get a defined value for fx. So keeping these 2 points in mind, now we will practice how to find the domain of a function. So let's start with the first example. The first example, we are taking fx is equal to x minus 3 upon 2x plus 1. And the question says that we have to find the domain of the function. Now, as we know, it's a real valued function over here. So that means we have all the real values for x except those values of x which on substitution will make the function undefined. Okay, let's see over here. Now the expression for fx, this denominator of fx should never be 0. Now let us see how, at which value of x the denominator can become 0. So for domain, what you will do, this denominator should never be 0. Because if denominator becomes 0, then this will be undefined value. That means you won't be getting real value for fx. So denominator should not be equal to 0. So you can say x should not be equal to minus 5. So you see, if we substitute value of x as minus half over here, then the denominator will become 0 and fx will not have a defined value. So what will be the domain? So domain will be set of all the real numbers except this value for x. So here domain of the function will be set of all real values of x except because we have to make sure that denominator should not be 0. Because if denominator will become 0, then we won't be getting any defined value for fx. So here we equated the denominator with not equal to 0 and we are getting x is not equal to minus half. So that means you can have any real value for x except minus half. Other than minus half, you put any value for x, real value for x, you will get a real value for fx. So this is how we find the domain. Now let us take one more example. You have noted down, so take one more. Okay, now see this one. Now in this one also, if any value of x makes the denominator 0, then we will say that value for y, that is fx, is not defined. So we have to find those values of x which can make the denominator 0. So here we can say that means the denominator should not be equal to 0. This denominator, this should not be equal to 0. Okay, so let's see, when quadratic you can factorize it. So you're getting these two factors, equating the first one. So we are getting these two values of x which can make the denominator 0. So we have to leave out those values of x that can make the denominator 0 to get the domain. So these two values here are making the denominator 0. If you put 6, denominator will become 0. If you put 2 over here, denominator will become 0. So we have to leave out those values of x that can make the denominator 0. The rest of the real values left over, they will be the domain. So what will be the domain over here? Domain of the function will be set of all real numbers except these two values. So this is how we can find the domain, by equating the denominator with not equal to 0. So from there you can get those values of x which can make the denominator 0, and we will say that at those values of x, fx will give us undefined value. So we have to leave out those values of x. So here we have used this condition: if the expression for denominator of fx should never be equal to 0. Then let us take one more example. Now in this we have to find the domain. Now here you can see expression for fx is containing the root sign. Expression for fx is containing the root sign. So if the expression for fx is in square root sign, expression is within the under root sign, then there will be these two possibilities. Either the expression lies in the numerator place, or expression may lie in the denominator place. So here you can see this expression is lying in the numerator place. So for domain, so if it's this condition, then how will you find x? Expression should be either equal to 0 or greater than 0. So you will be writing for domain expression means the one which is written within the root sign. This expression within the root sign, it is to be. So we are going to write it like this. Expression will be written like this. So x is less than or equal to 3 by 2. So we can say we will be having all the real values starting from 3 by 2 but less than that. 3 by 2 and the values which are less. So here, see, if it's a real line number, see this, a real 3 by 2. So you say x is equal to 3 by 2. 3 by 2 will be considered, and x is less than, so you will consider all these values, less than values. So what will be the domain? So domain of the function will be from minus infinity up to 3 by 2. And remember, infinity is never included, so you are going to put the round bracket. Now here 3 by 2 is included, so it will be kept with closed bracket like this. So that means what will be the domain of the function? It will be including 3 by 2 and all the values less than 3 by 2. So this will give you the domain of the function. So is this clear? If the expression for fx is containing the root sign, then the expression within the root sign will be greater than or equal to 0. Let us take, you can pause and note down this. Now we have to find the domain here. Again you can see fx expression, this is expression for fx is in square root sign, but this time it is in the denominator place. So if it's in the denominator place here, then the expression within the root sign will be put as greater than 0. So here 5 minus x will be taken greater than 0. So 5 is greater than x. So that means x is less than 5. So on a real number line, this is minus infinity, this is plus, and you are having 5. X is not equal to 5. So 5 is not included and x is less than 5. So that means what will be the domain of the function from minus infinity to less than 5? 5 is not included. Now, infinity is never included. So round bracket. And here 5 is not included because there is no equal sign. So 5 is not included. So the number which is not included, it has to be put within the round bracket. So this is how we can write the domain of the function in this case. You can pause and note it down. Let us take one more example. Now you have to find the domain. Now here you see the expression within the root sign is in the numerator place as well as in the denominator place, both. Now the first step what we will do, first of all, this value gets undefined if denominator becomes 0. First of all, you can see that expression within the root sign becomes undefined if denominator becomes 0. The denominator of fx should never be 0. So the first condition is this. Three minus x should not be equal to 0. So x is not equal to 3. So 3 cannot be the domain. First point is this. Now what other values? Because 3 cannot be the domain, but that doesn't mean that any other real number can be domain. Because suppose you put 0 over here. So if you put 0, then this becomes minus 2 upon 3. Again it will not be a real number, because you get minus sign within the root sign, then you get a complex number. So one point is clear that x cannot be 3, but we have to find what other numbers are there. So what you will do, now you consider this whole as 1, and you can say there is a root sign, so you will say that this whole result should be either equal to 0 or it should be greater than 0. See here, denominator cannot be 0, this is sure over here, because if denominator becomes 0, that means if value of x is substituted 3 over here, denominator becomes 0 and it becomes undefined. One point is clear. The other point, you take this one as a whole, so you will say that this result on the whole, either whole result becomes 0, then also root of 0 will be a defined value, or this whole result should be greater than 0. So we can write it like this. So here we can write it like this: x minus 2 upon 3 minus x is greater than or equal to 0. So this expression within the root, either it whole becomes 0, then also it is defined or it should be greater than 0. Then also we get the defined value. Now, in class 11th, you have learned that if denominator is a positive number, then it can be cross multiplied in the inequality. But here, are you sure that denominator is a positive number? We are not sure, because 3 minus x, where x is a real number, it may be positive or negative, we are not sure, so we cannot cross multiply it. Now see, how can we write it? I am multiplying and dividing the left side by 3 minus x. Now this denominator becomes a square, and the square of a real number is always positive. Square of a real number is always positive, so you can cross multiply it. So you are getting this expression, x minus 2 into 3 minus x is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now you also must have done plotting on the number line in class 11th in the quadratic. See, what you will do, you will draw a number line here. And on this number line, you will mark those numbers which can make these factors 0. So here you see value of x when taken as 2 will make this 0, and value of x when substituted 3 will make this factor as 0. So we have to get those values of x which can make these factors 0. So those values of x are 3 and 2. So on the number line you will mark 3 and 2. Now we say that we have divided, or we have created 3 sub intervals here. 1, 2 and 3 sub intervals here. Now we want to know what sign will occur for this and for this part. Have you done this? See how you will do. Now to get what sign, because values ranging from minus infinity to plus 2, will these values make this expression positive or negative, that we have to get. See here. You consider any value lying in between this. For the first subdivision, you take any value lying in between minus infinity to 2. So let the easiest value be 0. Now when you substitute 0 over here, substitute 0 over here like this, then this will become minus. Substitute 0 over here, this will become plus. Plus into minus will give you minus. So we can say that this interval is negative. So in this interval, fx will be negative for any real value of x. Let us see in this one. In between this, you take any value, let x be equal to 2.5. Whichever interval you are considering, you have to take a value lying in between and substitute it over here. Substitute 2.5 over here, so this will give you plus. 2.5 over here, this will give you plus. So plus into plus is plus. So that means any value of x from this range will give us the positive result. So for the last one, now in between these two, you take number 4. So you get plus. Now you put 4 over here, you get minus. This will give you minus. Minus plus minus. Is this point clear first of all? This was in class 11th. You must be knowing. If you have any confusion, I have done it for you here, so you can see. Now, from here, we have to consider greater than or equal to 0. That means we have to consider only the positive subinterval. So this one is the positive subinterval. So that means we are going to take values lying between 2 and 3. So domain of the function will be 2 and 3. Now, which bracket could we put over here? Now see, if we consider 3 here, then this becomes undefined. We have already said that x is not equal to 3 initially. So this will be a round bracket because x cannot be equal to 3. If you take x as 2, denominator will become 1 and the numerator will become 0. That means all over it will be 0 and that will be a defined value. So for x is equal to 2, you are getting a defined value. So you can take x as 2, but 3 cannot be considered. Just go through it and note it down. Okay, now let's see the next example. We have fx is equal to x square minus 4. Now if you see, expression over here is in the under root sign lying in the numerator place, this one. Expression is in the root sign, so in the numerator place. So here you can say for domain, I will do it over here. For domain, x square minus 4 should be greater than or equal to 0. Now remember, if the expression is quadratic, you always factorize it. Don't make it like this. X square don't do it like this. Okay. We will write it like this. X plus 2, x minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. Like this. Now again, you have got two factors, so you are going to use the number line, right? Minus infinity and plus infinity, and now on this number line you will mark those values of x which can make the factors 0. Here you see, if you substitute value of x as 2, this factor becomes 0. If you take value of x as minus 2, then again the factor becomes 0. So we will mark those values of x which can make the factor 0. So we have got these two values. So we have divided the number line in 3 subdivisions, 1, 2 and 3. Now we have to look for the interval, whether this is positive, this is negative or what. Now see how you can do it. Consider any value lying in between this line, from minus infinity to minus 2. consider any value. Let x is equal to -3, and now you substitute -3 over here. If you substitute -3 over here, you get minus. You substitute -3 over here, again you get minus. So all over the result is plus. So this interval will be considered positive. Now for this subdivision, consider any value. We can consider 0. Let's substitute 0 over here. If you substitute 0, this will give you plus. Substitute 0 over here, this will give you minus. Any value here? 3. So if you substitute 3 over here, this gives you plus. This gives you plus. We've got it like this. Now, which subdivisions are to be considered? Now here you can see the result is greater than or equal to 0. That means only the positive subdivisions. So we have got two positive subdivisions, this and this. Now for this one, we consider greater than or equal to 0, so plus. So minus, so domain minus infinity. Infinity is never considered to be taken, so round bracket. Now this -2, if you substitute -2 over here, will the value of fx remain defined? If you put -2 over here, it becomes 4 minus 4, that is 0. That means fx is getting a defined value. So you can take -2 included. If on substitution of -2 you were not getting a defined value, then you would have left out -2. Now we have to get greater than or equal to 0, positive and positive. So union. Now see, this 2 when substituted will give you a defined value. The 2 is included, infinity cannot be. So this will be the domain. I think this you have already done in class 11th, this thing. So you can note down this. Let's take one more example. Now here we have fx with expression under root, and that too in the denominator place. Fx is equal to 1 upon under root. So the expression in the denominator place will be greater than or equal to 0. Whenever root sign, you have the expression with the root sign in the denominator place, then the expression will be greater than 0, not equal to 0. Because if this expression is taken equal to 0, then 1 upon 0 will give you undefined value. This cannot be 0. It can be greater than 0 but not 0. So here, again we are going to factorize it. Now this is to be plotted on the number line. Now the values of x which will make these factors 0. So plus 2, minus 2. Now you will consider values in between this, and in between this to get the result. So again the same way we can do, substituting x is equal to -3. Value line in between this. So -3 we have taken. So if you substitute -3 over here, this minus into minus becomes plus. -3 over here, this becomes minus. So all over it is minus. Now you substitute value line in between, so we can take x is equal to 0. So when you substitute 0 over here, you get plus. You substitute 0 over here, you get plus. This is plus. You have taken 3. 2 minus 3 minus plus like this. Now you have to take the result which is greater than 0. That means you have to take the positive interval, this interval. You have to take positive intervals. So positive interval, you can see you are getting over here. So what will be the domain? Minus 2 plus 2. Now will minus 2 and plus 2 be included? If they will be included, you will put a square bracket, and if they will be excluded, you will put a round bracket. Now see, will these values of x give a real value for y? If you put minus 2 over here, this becomes 4 minus 4, that is 0, and 1 upon 0 will be undefined. So you can't take this value. Similarly for this one, if you put 2 over here, this becomes 4 minus 4, 0, 1 upon 0, undefined. You cannot take 2. This will be the domain. So, is it clear to all of you what is domain? Those values of x which on substitution gives a real value for y, that is real value for fx.